Hey geeks, it's Minx, and it's time for our Daredevil Daily. We're on episode 8, so we're in the back half, officially, of the season, and we're tying up the loose end from episode 7, and we're jumping into pretty much the nitty-gritty. We get a lot of explanations in this episode, which I think we kind of needed, and shit's finally out in the open, and we're gonna see what happens. So, we left off with episode 7 with them standing over the hole. Matt dropped the flashlight in, and they were waiting for it to land to see how deep this thing went. I feel like the hole is also kind of a metaphor for how deep everything is in Hell's Kitchen. Like, how many bad guys is he really going to be facing here? Now, we get the answer for how deep the actual hole is at the beginning. It's about 40 stories high, roughly, is what he wagers. And then they get attacked by ninjas. A bunch of ninjas just pop out of nowhere and start fighting. And for me, it wasn't the best fight scene that they've had this season. But Elektra ends up getting sliced and diced because Maddie stops her from actually killing somebody. And she ends up getting a crazy gash across the stomach that starts getting all putrid and nasty pretty soon. He's fighting through all of them, trying to get to her, and then he gets kind of caught up with a couple of them, and then out of nowhere, Stick has returned. Old Man Stick has returned. He whoops some ass, saves both of them, gets them out of there. He's got a driver, an unnamed driver, who I'm not sure who that is yet, and gets him back to Matt's place, where he starts asking for the most random of shit: toilet bowl cleaner, and whiskey, and baking soda, and some other stuff, and pliers, and some black tea. So, he makes some crazy, nasty, probably poisonous concoction, ends up pouring it over the gash after he pulls out a blade that broke off inside of her. Turns out that these ninjas poison their weapons, which, makes sense, because if you can't finish them one way, they gonna die anyway. And while she's patching up, while they're waiting to see, he finally gives us the exposition we needed to explain the actual situation and what's the deal with Elektra and him. Turns out Elektra works for him. The ninjas are not Yakuza, and they're not just regular ninjas. They are actually the Hand, which people who read the comics already know, of course. But it is officially stated in the show canon. This is the Hand, which is a group of dates back in the day. A bunch of Japanese warlords and some peeps figured out how to be immortal and some shit, and they've just been growing ever since, and branching out like fingers of a hand. And Stick and Elektra are part of something known as the Chaste, which is pretty much the only countermeasure against the Hand. They're pretty much the only people who can defeat the Hand. And it all began with one boy who, I guess, watched his mom get killed, and then he went ballistico and just like slaughtered a bunch of them, and then started training more people. So, which ties into other shit later on. Not necessarily this episode, but story-wise. They get into an argument. Maddie doesn't really believe him. Goes to talk to Elektra and pretty much tells Elektra, leave him, join me. You don't have to kill people. You can do shit the way I do it. Which is all fine and good. And then he leaves, and her and Stick have a fight because she wants to be with Matt, and she's in love with Matt, and she doesn't want to be a killer anymore. She wants to be with the person who actually thinks she can be good. Which is all well and good. Stick's like, yeah, we'll see how well you can survive because you have no idea what I've been protecting you from, yada yada. Because she does the whole, I can take care of myself, which granted, Elektra can fucking take care of herself in most situations. Just saying. She a badass bitch. But anyway, shit goes down, and if we flip over, they're having the trial for the Punisher. Matt missed a couple more days. He missed the questioning of the dude's former CO, which went beautifully. And then some kid in the audience was like, "You killed my father!" Yeah! And kind of ruined all the beautiful work that Foggy did. And then the next day, Matt is supposed to question the Punisher, and ends up not really questioning him. He ends up hearing a guard whisper to him, just think about what you really want. Punisher goes like fucking apeshit. It's like, "I'll kill them all!" And says some hardcore metal shit and gets dragged out of there. They pretty much got their conviction. So he gets sent to, I think, a higher level facility. And Matt comes back to find Stick gone and Elektra's curled up in bed and was like, I made my decision. I want to stay with you. You make blah, blah, blah. He gets attacked by a fucking ninja who followed them, who turns out to just be some stupid kid, ends up getting Maddie on the arm, so he's gonna obviously be poisoned, so they're gonna have to fix that shit. And Elektra ends up slitting this kid's throat, and is just like, "Well, do you still want me? This is who I am. AKA, I'm a killer. I'm a kill people." How he ends up being, the only person who doesn't, what is severely bad is he has beaten up people. I am surprised people have not died from brain damage and hemorrhaging and shit like that, and internal bleeding. I, honestly, he's killed people, he just doesn't know he has. To be honest, some of the beatings he's giving people, it's like, there's no way somebody would fucking survive that. But, hey, looks good for TV. But yeah, the whole, and she's like, "Do you still want me?" And he's sitting there like, "I'm dying," and then it switches back to the Punisher. He's been led through the prison, and comes to a very quiet, the same guard takes him to this very quiet end of the prison. It's a workout yard, and I'm thinking it might be a personal workout yard, because only one person turns around, only one person's working out, walks in there, and fucking Kingpin is back! Turns around, he goes, I see you got my message. So it's like, oh god, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna say? What is he gonna talk him into? Oh my god, now I can't wait for tomorrow, guys, okay? All in all, I will give the episode a B. A couple of the fight scenes were a little meh. The beginning fight scene was not as good as I would have hoped, especially for ninjas. Ninjas are awesome. And then the fight scene between Matt and the ninja when he gets poisoned was a little... He looked like he was drunk, and it was just not as fluid and clean as one would expect. And yes, he got shot through the fucking shoulder with an arrow, but still, we've seen him have all sorts of shit going on with him, and he's still, battled it out a lot tougher than that. So, I'm gonna ding it for that a little bit. I know how important the trial bits were for the Punisher story. I know it's very important. I know it's a big part of it. I know it had its own comic run. But I feel like parts of it just felt so disjointed, and it kind of slowed down bits of this episode and last episode. I think that's why I also rated last episode down a little bit. So I'm hoping now that the trial bit is over, that the action's gonna pick up a little more. I'm hoping. I still want to know who the hell was behind the cover-up of his family's murder, and I'm hoping we get to the bottom of that before the end of this season. But I'm excited to see more of the Chased and the Hand, now that we officially know of their existence. Anyone who's read the comics knew of their existence, but for anyone who hasn't, now that we know of their existence, I want to know more, I want to see more, I want to delve deeper into that giant pit. I want to find out why they're digging that hole, for sure. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Are you guys? Let me know down below what you thought of this episode. You know, did you think it was cool? Did you like the fight scenes? Did you like the exposition? Are you glad that we finally know who the enemy is? Were you excited to see Kingpin? Again, I love Vincent D'Onofrio. He's amazing. If you want to hit my next Daredevil Daily tomorrow, go ahead and hit that red button that says subscribe. You'll also catch all of my other reviews, like Once Upon a Time. I do unboxings, you know, all sorts of stuff. That's the only way to get all of those, you know, when I post them. So yeah, I guess I'll see you geeks tomorrow. Later, geeks.